Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi and good morning. I bid to all members of meeting today. I am DHIALIYANA AINA binti Muhammad Kamal as the chairman of the board of directors of Malaya Bhd. I cordially invite you all to the extraordinary general meeting of Malaya Bhd to address today's meeting agendas. Our company secretary had successfully prepared the necessary documentation for the presentation for this EGM prior to starting our virtual meeting, had live broadcast at meeting room 3, level 12 at Brown Wisma Tower. Now I may invite Company Secretary to lay out her pre-meeting preparation.
Thank you, Ms. Chairman. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a very good morning. I bid to all attendees. On 22nd December 2022, I have distributed notice of meeting to all directors, shareholders, and also members of the meeting. I believe that all the directors have received the notice beforehand.
Thank you, Ms. Nureen. To all members of meeting, please be informed that during the meeting, any question related to company business may be directed to our company secretary and will be answered during the Q&A session. Now, I call upon the company secretary once again to confirm the attendance and whether we have the quorum to proceed our meeting.
Sure, Ms. DHIALIYANA. So based on the participation of today's meeting, all the directors needed to attend except for Ms. Nur Nabila binti Ahmad, the independent non-executive directors of Malaya Bhd. She is unable to attend the meeting due to her health condition. She is currently on a sick leave for 4 days, and due to that, she sent a representative that will represent on her behalf, who is Ms. AIMA Nur HAZIRAH binti ZAIDI. So before we proceed to our meeting today, I shall read the agenda on what will be discussed and decided on today's meeting. So in total, we will have 3 agendas for today's meeting. The first agenda is the removal of Ms. Nur ATIQAH binti SYAHRUL IZZAM, the non-executive director of Malaya Bhd. Second agenda will be the change of the company's name. And lastly, the third agenda is the discussion of the allotment of new shares. So with regards to all the agenda, our meeting today is convened upon request of Ms. NAJWA IZZATI binti ZAINUDDIN, Mr. Mohamad HAZZIQ IMMAN bin GHAZALI, and also Mr. Mohamad AMIR FIRDAUS bin Mohamad. All of the said directors are the company's executive directors.
Thank you, Ms. Nureen. According to the notice given to all of you, there will be 3 agendas that will be discussed in this meeting. Please be reminded there is strictly no interruption during the presentation as the company secretary will assist any question directed regarding the matter before we resolve our discussion today. Moving to the first agenda, which is removal of company's executive director, Ms. Nur ATIQAH binti SYAHRUL IZZAM, company secretary, you may remind everyone in the meeting regarding the criteria of this issue.
Right. Thank you, Ms. DHIALIYANA. According to Capital Market and Services Act 2007, Section 188, Subsection 3, Clause A, stated that where trading in security in which the information in subsection 1 relates is permitted on the stock market of a stock exchange, the insider shall not directly or indirectly communicate the information referred to subsection 1 or cause such information to be communicated to another person if the insider knows or ought reasonably to know that the person would or would tend to first acquire, dispose of, or enter into an agreement with a view to acquisition or disposal of any securities to which the information in subsection 1 relates, or second, procure a third person to acquire, dispose, or enter into an agreement with a view to the acquisition or disposal of any securities to which the information in subsection 1 relates. So now I welcome Ms. NAJWA IZZATI binti ZAINUDDIN to proceed with the agenda.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Nureen. Today I will arise an issue about action done by one of our board of directors that leads to our EGM today. It is regarding unethical businesses practice, which is insider trading. It is found out that Mr. ATIQAH, the non-executive director of Malaya Bhd, has breached Section 188 sub 3 sub A of the Capital Market and Services Act 2007 CMSA when she communicated inside information to her family members that have shared in the company. Mr. ATIQAH family members were declared to have breached Section 188 sub 2 of the CMSA by disposing of a total of 24,000 and 39,800 of Malaya Bhd shares respectively between 9 December 2022 and 30th December 2022 while in possession of material non-public information. and it's lead to value of the company share to fall as it's create a sudden increase in the supply of share. The material information here referred to in action is related to unresolved issue in relation to Bank Malaya Bhd businesses strategy that how it slows adoption to new technology or strategy in order to remain competitive. This resulted in Bank Malaya Bhd beginning to run slowly for the past few years. It is expected that the company to have the risk of huge losses and wound out in the next few years if the company is still against the needed technology changes. Since it causes the value of the company shares to fall, I suggest that Mr. ATIQAH be removed from the board and legal action to be taken against her as she has breached the ethical businesses practice by sharing confidential information of the company unresolved issue. This is my presentation of facts regarding the issue.
Thank you, Ms. Najwa, for your presentation. I believe most of the directors have already received Ms. Atiqah's written representation on this matter. Thus, I would like to call upon Ms. Atiqah to justify the matter as she has the right to be heard against the removal.
Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Dia. Regarding this matter, I didn't do it intentionally. My concern goes to my family members that may face financial difficulties if the company wound up as they hold quite a portion of shares in this company. As shareholders, they have the right to withdraw their shares if it would cause so much losses to them. That is the main reason why the information slipped out of my mouth, and I did not intend to cause the sudden fall of share price to the company and damage the company's reputation. I wanted to I wanted to just notify them so that they could prevent huge losses. That is all I have to say since the written representation has also been made by me and has been circulated to the members of the company before our meeting today. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Atiqah, for your justification. Now I shall open the floor for discussion to reach fully agreement on the mentioned issue.
All right, thank you, Dia. As we already know, when a share price is falling, the company must sell more shares to raise money. So if a share price falls by a large amount, our company might be forced to borrow to raise money instead. So this will cost the company so much more because usually this option is more expensive than issuing shares. Besides, insider trading is still illegal whether it is intentional or not.
I agree with Ms. Aima. Although the withdrawal of shares by two of our shareholders did the cause of our stock price to fall so sudden due to Ms. Atiqah action of disclosing our company unresolved issue. So from my opinion, I think Ms. Atiqah did not take any money or gain any profit from her action that disclosing that information to her family members. And besides, sooner or later, our unresolved issue will also be known by the public if we do not adapt to the current technology soon.
I am with you, Mr. HAZZIQ. After considering the presentation of facts and the written representations made by Ms. Atiqah prior to the meeting, I agree to not remove Ms. Atiqah from her position as the non-executive director of the company. Plus, looking back at Ms. Atiqah's contribution to the company, it will be a huge loss to remove her. Ms. Atiqah has been one of the directors that have been providing an independent view on the running of our business, governance, and boardroom best practice that leads our company to have a good performance.
After hearing some opinions from the directors, I shall conduct the voting to resolve this matter. We will go with voting by show of hands. As for the proxy, Ms. AIMA Nur Hazirah binti Zaidi, you may also join the voting session to represent Ms. Nur Nabila binti Ahmad. The voting session may start now. Hence, I conclude that the director will not be removed from the company as we have the majority of the vote. Let's move on to our second agenda. In line with the company's merger as set out on notice given, our company has been diversified into a wide business area with a new corporate identity. As such, the board is proposing to change the name of the company in order to more accurately reflect the company's strategic direction. Can Ms. Nureen proceed with the criteria of naming the company?
All right, sure. So in the context of naming a company, Section 25 of Companies Act 2016 outlined that Clause 1, the name of the company shall end with the following: A, for public company, the word Berhad or the abbreviation of BHD. B, for a private company, the word Sendirian Berhad or the abbreviation SDN BHD. Or C, for an unlimited company, the word Sendirian or abbreviation SDN. Second clause, a company may have as its name A, an available name, or B, any such expression as the registrar may assign upon its incorporation. Second, referring to Section 26 of Companies Act 2016, it has been listed the A, general principle and characteristic of acceptable name, B, undesirable or unacceptable name, C, identical names to be compared with an existing company's name, and lastly, prohibited names under the direction of the minister.
Thank you. As I was informed, Mr. HAZZIQ has with him concern to change the company's name considering the merger.
Yes, I do have suggestion regarding our new name. Currently, we are cooperating under the name of Brown Malaya Bhd. So my concern is regarding the word Malaya in our company, since the merger is about diversification with international companies in which Malaya, I think, is no longer relevant. So I think I have a suggestion to change our new name to Brown Pro Energy Bhd. By changing our company name like this, I think it will enable the company to create a new brand identity for itself and develop a new positioning in the market, and allowing the public and the company's business partner to better identify with the companies under this new name moving forward. And since this merger has created one opportunity for us to engaging in the business of smart energy system, including renewable energy generation, digitized energy management service, and a carbon management service, in particular to be in line with PRC carbon peak and carbon neutrality goals. So the merger has been promoting the green and low carbon transformation of global development as the world aim to achieve zero carbon emissions. So to be in line with such a development trend, I think it's a good idea for the company to change a new name with regards to the company's merger with that energy company to make an awareness of our new brand of uh, new name.
I think I have a better idea. How about we change the word brown to a more proper initial name, because our existing name is already familiar to the public, and due to the issue that has arisen to some extent, it has affected the company reputation. So by keeping this original name will cause various questions and may interfere with the merge process. So I think we can fix it by completely changing the name from the original. And also, the use of the word brown is to generate, and many business has using it. And the customer could easily misinterpret the word with our actual business activity. So we need to come up with a more distinctive yet relevant name that better reflects of our core business. Such that I would suggest Solar Genix Pro Energy Berhad for our new company name, because I think Sologenic is an eye-catching, memorable name that instantly evokes the image of a solar company. So it's also evocative sound and a strong symbolism which hint at both solar power and the power of technology, which means we have to create a strong brand identity for our company. Also, the name of Sologenic is easy to pronounce and remember, allowing customer to quickly and easily recall the company's name. And name of Sologenics also stand out from other solar companies, stand out and attract attention. And lastly, I think the name of Sologenic is also conveys a sense of professionalism and modernity, which can help to create a corporate look and that appeals to potential customer and investor.
I agree with both opinions from Mr. HAZZIQ and Ms. NADHIRA. As Mr. HAZZIQ has pointed out, and I think the word Malaya is irrelevant to be part of our names. So we need to change it to another names that might reflect our company operations. And from opinions, I suggest and suggestions that were proposed by Mr. NADHIRA, I think I am more preferred with the suggestion that she gave, which had more corporate look on that name.
After hearing some opinion and suggestion from the directors, are there any additional suggestion that any of you may want to address? Okay, so now as no one has any say, we are going to continue with the voting session to resolve this matter. Again, we will go with voting by show of hands. Can I have Ms. Noreen to assist me in conducting the voting session?
All right, sure, Ms. DHIALIYANA. So, dear members of meeting, now we have two suggestions of names proposed by Mr. Muhammad HAZZIQ, IMMAN bin GHAZALI, which is Brown Pro Energy Berhad, and another one is from Ms. NADHIRA binti Ahmad, which is Solar Genix Pro Energy Berhad. So the method of voting is by show of hands. So without further ado, the voting session starts with the first name, Brown Pro Energy Berhad. So members of the hall, you may cast your vote now. All right, thank you. Now moving to the second name, which is Solar Genix Pro Energy Berhad. Once again, members of the hall, you may cast your vote now. All right, thank you for your cooperation. Now I shall pass back the floor to Ms. Chairman.
Thank you, Ms. Noreen. I suppose that the company's name shall be changed to Solar Genix Pro Energy Berhad as we have the majority of the vote. Reaching to our last agenda regarding the authorization for the allotment of new shares, Director AMIR, may you assist us on this matter?
Alright, Ms. Dia, sure. Now, I will further explain the proposed idea of allotment of new shares to new or existing shareholders, as we know that our company right now is suffering with huge losses and may go into bankruptcy.
Well, that's a good suggestion. This allotment of new shares can save our company from bankruptcy risk. These new shares also can help us to raise money to finance our business operations, and it should be issued to help us to repay our current debt and repair the damage of the balance sheet. So may I know how much is the new allotment of shares will be issued?
Alright, Ms. AIMA. In order to prevent the unwanted things from happening, I think we should issue 2 million of new shares to raise our fund. This is also due to our revenue not being generated well, and we have only a small amount in our retained profits, which I think we do not have enough money to cover the losses and to continue our day-to-day operation.
But I think the amount of 2 million is too much, since our reputation is currently tarnished due to the insider trading issue. Even though we will not incur any heavy expenses, we still need to spend for the cost of issuance shares. Therefore, I think we should reduce the allotment to 1 million only.
Oh, yeah, I think I agree with your suggestion, Ms. AIMA. Perhaps, maybe we shall propose the issuance of shares to be 1 million only.
I think 1 million of new share is enough for now to issue, since we have to minimize the cost incurred right now.
Yes, I also agree with Ms. Najwa regarding the new number of shares that we are going to issue. Although our retained earning is currently at a low level, but we still can cover a part of the cost that we need to incur for any unexpected event.
Thank you, Mr. AMIR, Ms. AIMA, Ms. Najwa, and Ms. ATIQAH for the in-depth discussion on the allotment of the shares. In order to have entire concurrence from the members on the issue, I shall call upon Ms. Noreen once again to conduct the voting session.
Right, so I guess this is the final round of our voting session today. So all the directors, you may vote by show of hands as of the said amount of the new allotment of share, which is 1 million. So the voting session is now open. All right, so thank you everyone. Back to you, Ms. Dia.
As the majority has edged to a side, I shall resolve that only 1 million of shares will be issued to our new and existing shareholders. Based on the results, we have all agreed to execute this business in order to ensure our long-term success. I hope that we have reached the best decision for the betterment of our company's growth. Company Secretary, do you have any closing remarks before we wrap up our meeting?
As a company secretary, I believe that every decision made is the consensus of all the meeting attendees today. With all the agendas and issues that has been discussed and resolved today, let us hope that the company can perform and sustain better in the future.
Hence, I would like to declare that our extraordinary general meeting this time around is successful and concluded. Thank you everyone for your time and kind cooperation.
So after the meeting has ended, the company secretary must prepare a draft of meeting that has been recorded and ask for chairman's approval. And after the minute of meeting has been approved, the company secretary should send the finalized minutes of meeting to all related persons. With all that being said, thank you.